done it! I cannot believe it! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again!
Hello everyone, we are Through on Goal, a podcast where we talk about football and pretty much nothing else. My name is Sam, and as always, I am joined by my co-host and very best friend in the whole wide world, Elliot. Hi, Elliot.
Hello, Sam.
How are you? How was your week?
Stupid question, isn't it?
How was your Saturday? I think I should ask.
Yeah.
Good Saturday?
It was a very good Saturday, yeah.
Can't think of much that happened. Should we move on?
For now.
For now. Let's start then with the Capital One Cup, Carabao Cup, Milk Cup, Carling Cup, I can't remember. Worthington Cup, I think it was called the Worthington Cup at one point. And I think Man City have won that trophy with 4 different names. It must be. They've got to have won the trophy at least 2 different names it's had.
I think they've won it Capital One. Well, it's Capital One and Carabao. I can't think that they've won it as anything else.
No, maybe not Carling. Well, they've won it 8 times, haven't they? So they probably have. Yeah, 4 in a row.
Recently.
Yeah, 4 in a row. So amazing. It's difficult to have expected a 29-year-old interim manager had the job for 6 days to beat the best team in England, one of the best teams in Europe, and arguably, the greatest manager of our generation. But was there not a part of you in 80 minutes in thinking, surely not? I mean, I used that a lot recently as a Gillingham fan.
And to be fair, whenever you said surely not, it hasn't happened, has it?
No, and sure enough, it hasn't happened again this time. Should he have been on the pitch? I'm Eric Laporte.
It's irrelevant, isn't it? Because if he gets the first yellow, he doesn't go for the second. I don't think the argument's relevant, to be honest. I don't think he's on that second yellow as well. He's got 4 or 5 defenders behind him. It's not as if he has to go for the challenge. So I don't think if he were to need to, that he would.
Right. No, that's fair argument. Fair argument. He did bottle it the first time though, because it was a clear yellow the first time. And one thing to note, fans, that overcooked pass, that shot that goes into Rosette, the ways. Oh, I've missed it. I've missed every bit of it.
I think there was a moment where Son got nutmegged and the Man City fans they let him know.
Oh, well, there was a moment, I think, where the ball went into Tottenham's half for the first time in half an hour. And I think the Man City fans cheered. We're like, hey, well done.
Yeah,
and
you can see the ball.
Credit where credit is due. I think if we're trying to dissect, for the sake of trying to find positives, which we like to do, we don't always try and find negatives, is Tottenham's defence has been awful this season. But I think they played a very, very good game. Aurier, he was very safe. I think that's the best way to describe his performance. He didn't dive in like he normally does. He gave away the free kick for the goal, and maybe better clearance in there, but some of the blocks that have been put in, some of the tackles and interceptions, I think were brilliant from Tottenham today, considering they were playing under the most defensive-minded manager of all time. Reguilon potentially could have been better, but all in all, Dyer and Alderweireld, I think they played a good game.
Yeah, they did all right. Yeah, I think they did all right. And it was, in truth, it could have been more than just the one because of how dominant Tottenham were. But yeah, Tottenham defended probably better than I've seen them all season defend.
No, that's a fair point. So one of my favourite things about Twitter is rival fans. You know that. I love rival fans. Underneath every single... You get it anywhere. Arsenal Twitter, you'll find Tottenham, Chelsea, West Ham, Tottenham like that. And, especially Arsenal fans, of course, because, Tottenham lost in the final. But it's hard to imagine Ryan Mason. It would have been a fairy tale. But Man City have won it. This is their 4th time in a row. And Aston Villa, Chelsea and Arsenal have all tried to beat Man City in this cup final. And they just haven't. Man City losing 3-0. Chelsea, Man City, they 0-0. But that was when...
That was
Kepa saying, I don't want to come off, which is hilarious. And obviously Aston Villa last year. And the thing is that it's a cup that famously not a lot of teams take seriously, which is it's fair point. I think FA Cup has that more prestige. If you ask me to choose between the FA Cup and Carabao Cup or Worthington Cup or Milk Cup, do you know what I mean? I'd choose the FA Cup every time, and I think every player you'd probably ask would. And it shows in Man City celebrations. I think they're bored of winning it now. I reckon they'll say next season, don't put us in it, give someone else a chance.
I think Guardiola sees it as a trophy to win. He's the only big manager that ever takes it seriously. So,
and good for him, because it's nice to see. It is nice to see, regardless of the trophy, a trophy being taken seriously. Because that was a bar, obviously, arguably the keeper. Well, I say arguably Edison's miles better than Stefan. No offence. That was as full strength as you could pretty much get from Man City. So, and they've got PSG in 72 hours from this recording. And he's put out a full strength side. De Bruyne's just come back from injury, and he's chucked him in there
because they subbed De Bruyne off with it was just as the goal went in, wasn't it?
About 5 minutes to go, I think. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think they would have done that if they hadn't had PSG, because all it would have taken was one goal, and you got another half hour to play, and obviously he's stronger with De Bruyne than without him. But yeah, it was a very strong Man City team, and they dominated as kind of expected, and I think Tottenham can kind of almost be happy that it was only one.
There was times in the first half where, this was going to be a very long game. But yeah, they held out. 1-0, positives, good defending. Kane was a bit anonymous, but I don't think that's Kane's fault. It was just Man City were just ridiculous.
You can't really blame him when he didn't have a chance. When a team is that dominant, you can't really expect him to make chances that are nothing.
Question for you: would you have started Bale?
I don't know. I'd have rather, if it was a matter that he couldn't play 90 minutes, depending on fitness or whatever, I'd have rather brought him on than taken him off. He's an impact player.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah,
I guess in hindsight,
it's Man City. It's the best team in the country. Maybe if he was given another 10 minutes, it might have been a little bit different. But he's
come on at half time.
When Man City have the possession that they have and basically don't allow Tottenham to create the chances, there's not really a lot anyone can do. Yeah. It doesn't matter who you've got on the bench.
Well, congratulations all in all to Man City. You don't need it because you win it every bloody year, and you've got 6 more points until you win the Premier League this year. I can't remember who I had to win the Carabao Milk Worthington Cup this year.
I have no idea.
I can't remember.
If you didn't go Man City, then I don't know.
I don't know who they're with. Right, I'll tell you what then. I'm going to leave. I'm going to make myself a drink. I'm going to make myself some food, and I'm just going to let you talk for 5 minutes. Because, Elliot, as everyone who listens to this podcast will know, we do have a kind of set Premier League, EFL, European kind of rounder. Elliot absolutely did not want to stick with that this week.
I mean...
And as his note says right here, and I'm reading it word for word, the real City win promotion, #gargantuan, disclaimer, he had to Google how to spell it just for our notes, but okay. Elliot, take it away.
Well, it was always going to happen, wasn't it?
Was it always going to happen?
It was always going to happen.
Because February 12th, I have some tweets, Elliot. I have some tweets. I went back and screenshotted some tweets, Mr. Clifford. 13th of February.
Can you blank out any expletives?
No, there's no expletives. Okay. I've got 2 tweets on the 13th of February.
Oh, God.
1.72 million people currently unemployed in the UK, and Grant McCann isn't one of them. Pain. That's the first one. And the second one, underneath Hull City's tweet, you did a poll, which got 915 votes, by the way. Should Grant McCann be in charge against Wigan on Wednesday? And 72% of you said no.
Genuinely, the 28% that did as well were Portsmouth fans.
Was that the 4-0 loss to Portsmouth?
Or was it 4? No, it was 2-0.
Oh,
they didn't have a shot on target.
Oh, yeah. It's 2 own goals.
Yeah.
And then Portsmouth went on and got 2 own goals when you did the
that might have been the Ipswich game, because that was December that we played Portsmouth. Yeah, no, at that point Portsmouth were like, you'll have the battles throughout the season with the fans, and for that point in time it was Portsmouth fans, and as I've been told by Southampton fan Michael, Portsmouth fans aren't worth your time, so
bye Portsmouth fans. It's nice to have you listening.
Yeah, you can stay League One. Yeah, I mean, since, I don't know if it was that Ipswich game, but since that game, we've got 33 points from a possible 39. So, Grant McCann, congratulations on keeping the job.
Credit where credit is due to him, you have to say. He bloody turned that around. He really did.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that I was wrong in what I was saying at the time, because he was lucky to be in the job.
Right.
He shouldn't have survived last season.
No, I think that's a fair point. Yeah.
He has turned it around, and it's going to be a strange one next season, because he's been in charge of us for one season in Championship. The first half of that, he had the best player in the league, and I don't really think there's much argument with that at the time, because look at what Jarrod Bowen's gone on to do at West Ham.
Yeah.
And the second half of the season, he's had a work a far worse squad than we have now. He had a low League One team. This isn't even a pushing for mid-table. The players we were playing and the performances we were putting in, it was awful. So it's a bit of a clean slate for him next season. And I'm not gonna get my hopes up too high too quickly. I want 14th. I want safe,
comfortable,
and never actually being in the kind of risk of going down. I don't want to be 21st and then win 3 games on the bounce and finish 14th. I want to be. I think we'll get mid-table comfortable next season, and that's even without a few big signings. We've got a very, very good squad, and I mean, I think the squad that we have right now, even with no signings, would stay up.
Do you think next season, let's say Hull City fine 14th, is Grant McCann still in charge the following season?
I think I think something like that. Yeah. I think that will be the target. I don't think that they're going to set out first week in August with the target of walking the league for a second year in a row. I think anything above sort of comfortable safety in the league is an absolute bonus. One thing we do seem to have is unbelievable sort of team spirit.
Yeah, that came across in the celebrations.
That showed on the celebrations as well. And I mean, I've seen so many interviews since then as well, and it shows they're all fighting for each other. But yeah, I think I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I think we can start to build over the next few years. We've got a lot of good youth players coming through. Keane Lewis Potter's got, I think, 12 goals this season. He'd have got more if he didn't have the contract dispute earlier in the season. We've got Jacob Greaves, who's young centre back. I think he may even still be a teenager. Last season, I think he got Cheltenham's Player of the Season out on loan there. This season, he's starting for the League One winners and looking good in it. It's going to be a good stepping stone up to the Championship next season, and we've got a good, well, mainly young team as well, with the exceptions of our 2 strikers, McGuinness and Eves. We haven't really got anyone sort of well into their 30s. I can't think of. I think Ingram might be 30 or approaching 30, but we're not an old side. But we've still got in McGuinness its experience, and he is in his 30s now, and this is his first promotion as a player.
Oh, is it really?
Which is a surprise, but I mean, he has played for some shocking teams. He played for that Bolton team that went down from the Championship.
Yeah, but a lot of that Bolton team is just not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think our priorities next season are. Ingram's been very good for us, but I think we need a first choice. We need the sort of household name in goal, and we need a star striker. That is priorities beyond any doubt. We've got our right backs are unbelievable. We'd arguably have the 2 best right backs in the league, because Josh Emmanuel started the season because Louis Coyle was out injured, and he started on fire, and I knew it was going to be a problem because he was signed as a backup and he was absolutely phenomenal. And if it wasn't for Louis Coyle's incredible form that he's had, it would be very harsh to have dropped him. But yes, it has felt like a little while coming, even if it is just weeks rather than months. But it's notoriously a difficult league to get out of as well, because you've got... So Sheffield United were in League One for 6 years. Leeds were in it for 3. Sunderland, I think, are in their 3rd at the moment, and they'll have to settle for playoffs. And
Portsmouth?
Well, Portsmouth's a different case because they got absolutely destroyed. They're lucky. No. They're lucky to be in existence.
Yeah,
really, the way they got treated. But yeah, you got Ipswich, who have, I think they're in their 2nd or 3rd year, and they're not even threatening to go up.
It's a very difficult league. Take it from a Gillingham fan who's only ever really known League One, and yeah. No, I hear you on that one. It's an unforgiving league, isn't it? Yeah, it really is.
It's a really odd league as well, because you get some teams that have just come down from the Championship that like to play some good football. Like I'm sure you know the teams that play good football because they let Gillingham know that Gillingham don't play good football.
Oh yeah.
But then so you've got some relatively big teams that their whole sort of ethos is around playing good, positive attacking football. Then you've got teams like Gillingham. I don't have a complaint with what they do, but it's
League One football.
It's what commentators would call industrial football. It's long ball, head it on, score. I've not got a problem with that. That's League One football. You've got some real physical teams in Fleetwood when they were run by Joey Barton, and there's a whole sort of mismatch of like every single style of football you can think of, and we've kind of come through it, and there's not really been a lot of games to be honest where we've had to go out of second gear really.
Yeah.
With the highest scorers in the league, with the highest scorers in England, we've conceded the least goals in the league. It is deserved, and I don't think we have had our our downs as well as our ups in that Ipswich defeat. The 4-1 defeat to Fleetwood live on Sky is also one that comes to mind. But you look over the course of the 44 games that we've played so far, and you said I don't think we've gone out of the top 4 at any point, because we started the season scoring within 3 minutes away at Gillingham. We won the game 2-0. We're into the top 4, and then we went on I think our first 5 or 6 games we won without conceding.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I remember saying to you, thinking, that.
So even at our lowest, I don't think we've really gone even any lower than 4th. So we have always been there or thereabouts. There were times that it looked like it would be unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
But hopefully this time next week I'll be talking about us finishing off winning the title, because that's what I want now. We haven't won the league since 1966. So the league and Euros double would be very nice.
What is needed now when the league? Is it just another win, or is it?
So Peterborough have a game in hand. They're 4 points behind. So basically it's in our hands. If Peterborough drop points, because I think they play during the week, it can be done at the weekend. Well, it can be done at the weekend anyway, even if they win midweek and drop points next week. But they've got 2 games, and if they drop points and we beat Wigan, I'm pretty sure that's done. It would be a really nice way to win the league, winning it against Wigan after what little hopes we had last year of staying up went at Wigan.
Yeah, 8-0 is not. Yeah.
Wigan, to be fair to them, are in form at the moment. They're doing really well. I think they've won something like 4 or 5 on the bounce. Will Keane's scored more goals in the last month than he had in his last 10 years, I think. But yeah, so it's not going to be easy, but I want to see Louis Cole, Richie Smallwood, George Honeyman, whoever it is, captain on the day, lifting that trophy. And also I want us to win it next weekend and not on the last day of the season, because part of winning the league means you get a Guard of Honour, and we're away at Charlton on the last day of the season, and Nigel Adkins would love to give us a Guard of Honour. He really would. He'd be stood there proud as anything.
Ah, fair enough. Elliot, football in the next few years is going to get very, very boring to watch, because we live in a world where you're no longer allowed to have arms, and we also live in a world where you're no longer allowed to kick the ball without getting a red card, because that is what happened at West Ham. Chelsea, it's ridiculous. What a stupid... David Moyes said it best. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that sentence. That referee's clearly never played football in his life. I agree.
It's the follow through, and
what is he supposed to do with his leg?
I really don't think that the VAR, the referees looking at the monitors, should be able to slow it down, because he's looking at an incident, and by slowing it down it changes the incident.
This isn't a VAR. I don't think it's VAR.
Because he's gone across to the VAR have asked him to look at the monitor.
Yeah, so why isn't that official going, he's kicked the ball?
Well,
I can't give that as a red.
If VAR don't tell him to go across to the monitor, the ref doesn't have it's 50-50, it's both, but if VAR don't tell him to go and have a look where they can slow it down, and they may as well put blinking Instagram filters on it for all. If VAR don't tell him to look at the monitor, they can't slow it down, and they can't, because that's what the ref's given it for. He's given it because they've slowed it down. They've completely changed the incident by doing that.
Yeah, but do the refs not have a mind? Well, clearly not. But do they not have a mind of their own? Like, because he didn't give it initially. He just, and surely he's got to look at that. And yeah, okay, you can slow it down. That's fine. That still can't change the fact that his action of kicking the ball and coming back down, regardless of slow motion or not, it's still a kicking a ball motion. The standard of officiating, VAR has been awful this year. Don't get me wrong, and don't get me started on the lines. Hate the lines. How you can just have you forget to get a pedicure one week and you're offside, and then it's like this. I don't think this is VAR. I think this is just the awful standard of officiating that we currently have in this country, and it really is. Look at his haircut. No, but it's just. And you look at it today in the Carabao Cup final as well, like, okay, he bottled a few decisions there and the pressure. The fans are coming, and this is what I don't think...
It's going to be ruthless.
The fans are coming back. They're only going to... We're starting to see it now. And luckily, in today's game, we didn't actually see any VAR decisions, because I can imagine an offside or something like that would have... I know there was 2,000 of each, but you heard them. And the fans are coming back, which means that these referees, when they go over to the screens, they're going to have fans scream at them. They're going to have this, that, and everything, and the pressure is going to mount on them. If they can't make these simple decisions with the ball is being kicked away, because By the time you're listening to this, guys, I'll put any money on that this would have been overturned.
Oh yeah, they'll take 5 seconds over rescinding it.
Why are we overturning decisions with VAR? That's why I think it's an officiating choice, because, you know what I mean, like, I could say to you, Elliot, this film, best film ever, honestly, Elliot, watch it, best film ever, and you can watch it and you can have your own opinion and go, Sam, that wasn't a good film, and I could be like, fair enough, that's your choice, you know? Do you know what I mean?
But as soon as VAR refers it to him looking at the monitor, it changes the situation. And yes, you can make your own mind up, but
who's in charge then?
But the way we're seeing it, we've already seen 10 angles of it at full speed on whatever, so we've made our mind up. It's not a red card. The ref sees it in full time, which is very, very different from his one angle, which obviously we can't replicate, and then to slow it down and
But we're also seeing it slowed down, and we know it's not a red.
Yeah, but they're not seeing it.
The VAR they're the ones that are.
But it changes the complete situation by seeing it as slowed down.
No, I do, and I do get that. I do honestly understand that, but that then leaves the question of who has the final decision. Is that VAR going, you need to give him a red card, or is the on-field referee makes the final decision?
The VAR telling him that is a red card. It's all just advice. It is for the ref to make the final decision, but it obviously depends which individuals are in the VAR room, how it's all kind of subjective. It's like how they talk, but yeah, it's not a red card. But I don't think they should be allowed to see it slow down frame by frame, because what are you supposed to do from one frame to the other? Move your leg in that? No.
Yeah, no, I agree. We spoke briefly last week on the Super League. Now, I know obviously it's been beaten to death, so we're not going to stay on it for too long, but we started talking about it as it was announced.
Yeah, so we didn't actually know that much.
Yeah, and then the next 48 hours, we were just, oh my word, we were going mental over it. Teams, right, Perez, is it Florentino Perez?
At Real Madrid.
Does he know football?
No, he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't. He's a suit. He's a man in a suit. His experience of football, week in, week out, is similar to that experience we had of football at the last time we went to the Bernabeu.
No, stop it now.
In the box. That's what he sees every game. He misses goals every week because he gets handed tuna lasagna. But that is a very, very different way. He thinks 16 to 24-year-olds don't go to football because they're not in his box, because the other suits bring their kids. And then when you're in that 16 to 24-year-old bracket, you can't really afford to go and sit in €500 seats. So that's what he's making his mind up. That's a very different situation to spending a Tuesday night on the terrace at Burton.
There's that, yeah, and then there's like pure football, if you know what I mean, as you said. Though it's weird. I miss freezing cold Tuesday night, gloves on, hot chocolate or coffee, pie in hand, sat there for 90 minutes, freezing, losing 3-0. Yeah. That Birmingham away that we went, it was live on Sky, and it was snowing.
Yeah, it was a Thursday night, live on Sky. We lost 1-0. John Terrell scored for Birmingham that day. I mean, the only reason we went is because it was £10 tickets.
Yeah.
That is completely irrelevant to the fact that I'd just driven 4.5 hours each way.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about petrol and stuff about it.
For a game that was on telly, in hindsight, was it a mistake? Perhaps. But look,
we did it, and we've got a good memory.
Yeah, and also the worst thing about that day is we ordered a wing roulette from Nando's and they were all plain.
Oh, that was the worst thing we've had. That's the last wing roulette we've had.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know about you, Elliot. I've loved football since, I went to Gillingham. My granddad took me to Gillingham. Mm-hmm. Gillingham Sheffield United was the first game. And since then, obviously, I'd go to Gillingham. I'd play in Sunday League. And then, when we started to become closer and closer, we went to more games, everything like that. And funny enough, during my 16 to 24 years, I didn't go, I don't really like football anymore. I'm going to stop for a bit. I've just, turned 25 in January. I'm loving it again.
If anything, 16 to 24 is kind of when I've loved football the most. So at 16 would have been
first year
2011, 12, I want to say.
That's depressing.
Yeah, I know. But then, so I was getting back into football then, and then the next season we got promoted up to the Premier League, and I think every season since then, I think I've gone to, obviously last I don't know, maybe last season. But obviously this season aside, I've gone to probably 10 plus Hull City games every season since that point.
Yeah.
And that's included European football, that's included FA Cup finals. I've never loved football as much as I did during the time in 16 to 24. So Florentino Perez, if you are listening, tell your very rich friends.
Yeah, give us some money.
I would like that, but I hear you've got 3.5 billion going spare now, so if you want to share that about a little bit. But you just don't get it.
No, and I agree. And that's what they were trying to take away from us. Everything that you kind of described there. It was just, they don't see that and they think, we want to make more money, everything like that. You're right, so I don't kind of know where it is right now. Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, all pretty much at the same. Man City first and then Chelsea kind of very closely afterwards said that they're leaving. I don't quite know the ins and outs, the statistic or whatever it is, because they said we're leaving, and then Perez come out and said you're not because you're still signed in and stuff like that. It's still alive. He's beating this to death, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
But what is dangerous is that how easily this happened, and I think that's something that is
It's not going away as well.
No.
They've stopped because they can't get away with it at the moment. That's all it is. The only reason that they're not doing it is because they can't get away with it. If they could, they'd do it.
What they'll do is they'll wait until the 24-25 season. They'll let us watch the Champions League, realise that their new format that the Champions League is bringing in isn't actually that good.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah, but for player-wise and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll watch it and go, the Super League didn't look too bad. Guess what we've still got hidden in our pockets?
Yeah, we've still got it drafted up.
That's it. And
they probably still own the domain or something.
yeah, the website comes back.
What an awful bloody logo as well.
Who designed that?
And
definitely not a 16 to 24-year-old. No, it was because they don't like football, so they didn't care what the logo looked like.
You can guarantee the song wouldn't be anywhere near as good as the Champions League. Probably not even as good as the Europa League tune.
Well, do you know what is it? That Gazprom advert.
Yeah.
That happens before it comes back on. You know, like that. Even that's iconic.
Every time after that, I fancy a pint of Gazprom.
What do you mean a pint of Gazprom? Aren't they energy suppliers?
I think they're gas. Gas and oil.
You just want a pint of gas and oil, do you? No, but even that is kind of iconic. You hear that and you're thinking, the Champions League's back on. Here we go, yeah. And that's energy supply. So yeah, the Super League. It would have been...
Yeah, I remember, same as you will, you remember being stood up the back of the Nou Camp on that Tuesday night against Inter Milan, hearing the Champions League theme song, and it was goosebumps.
That's it.
You wouldn't get that if they... you know what they'd do in the Super League? They'd have half-time shows. They'd have Flow Rider coming out for Chelsea versus...
Schalke. Yeah.
It would be awful.
To 20 fans.
Yeah, no. Paying £400 a ticket. But no, it's ridiculous. And the best thing that's come out of it is the outpouring from the rest of football.
Football has come together. And it's good, but obviously there are still issues in football today. Discrimination, racism, homophobia that are still rife in football. And it's interesting to see how quickly, when money's involved, they buckle down. But when people... Now, obviously, next week, every EFL, Premier League are coming together to do a social media silence. Yeah. It's a good gesture. It is a good gesture. But the thing is, Instagram, everyone put, was it Tuesday, like a black square on their Instagram or social media and stuff. And nothing's kind of... more needs... And it shouldn't have to take...
It's just raising awareness, isn't it? It's not,
of course.
It's not,
but it shouldn't have to take Premier League, everyone boycotting social media, for Twitter to go, hold on, our users are down. Guess what? We're losing money.
Yeah.
We need to do something about it.
That's what's going to work, though, isn't it? It's money that makes the world go round. So Twitter aren't going to do anything until they start seeing it on the balance sheets.
Instagram, they banned a user for months. Not racist abuse. I think it was Tyrone Mings.
Right.
I think it was, and he got a ban for a number of months. I think it was.
Right.
What?
If you do that in a football ground, if you say that with your own voice rather than through a few keypads on your keyboard, you're never going back into a stadium again. You're going to end up in court the next day.
Yeah.
On hate crimes.
But Instagram is like, but we don't want to lose a user, do we? Yeah, we don't want to be a user down. But they've brought out filtering. I think they're doing something to do with filtering messages to try and filter hateful messages.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of Premier League clubs that have signed up to some service that it can basically, if the user is going on to their Instagram account, those messages are still there, but it just filters them out so that the user themselves himself can't see them. But then what's the point?
It's a small step. So, but that player is still being racially abused, whether you see it or not.
That message would come up for me, but it wouldn't for Marcus Rashford.
No, exactly. And the thing is that just because, like, say for instance, you're in a seat, Old Trafford, for example. Okay, if Marcus Rashford is getting racially abused, he might not hear it, but he's still getting racially abused, and other people can see it and other people can hear it. More needs to be done. More. Yeah. It's easy to say, and it should be easy to do, but apparently not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually wrote a note here saying the Super Six are awful, because since then I think Tottenham have drawn and won.
Yeah.
Arsenal have lost.
I mean,
yeah.
Liverpool have drawn twice.
Yeah, Leeds and
Newcastle. Two late goals. Well, 2 late goals for Newcastle, but we haven't even talked on that. But yeah, I mean, they really haven't looked good at all.
No.
But yeah, what they're trying to do though is because you look at football for the last 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, whatever. The top 6 changes all the time. Yeah. Everton have been there.
Leicester.
You look back to days of Tom Finney, and Preston were the best team in the country. They're now, I think they're probably lower mid-table in the Championship.
About that, yeah.
But what they're trying, it was what Gary Neville said, I think it was yesterday, they're trying to stop the clock here. They're trying to just look after themselves for the next, what was the contract, 30 years or something.
Yeah.
But it was something that Steve Parish said it wasn't the interview he did on Monday Night Football, there was another one, I think it was on BBC News, and he said that the football fans that you see out protesting, they're fighting for their right to lose, because there's no point in winning if you can't lose.
No, what's the point in that? No, and it was Guardiola said, like, obviously competition, you've got to have competition. There is no sport, you can't, to be relegated, again, coming from a Gillingham fan who experiences more relegation than he does promotions, but there's just something about no one wants to be in it, but there's just something about that relegation battle that every game is just, it matters, absolutely matters. And if you stay up, the euphoria. Villa last year, Roy Keane didn't like it, but Villa last year, they went mental, didn't they? They celebrated. Do you remember the scenes in West Brom? They were bottom of the league at Christmas, and then they stayed up. Kieran Richardson and everyone, Brian Robson, wasn't he? He was in charge. And the scenes, it's the we are staying up kind of chance. What's that?
Yeah,
what's that going to be replaced with?
It's that end of the season. The last sort of half dozen games before the end of the season. I remember going Fulham away. It looked like we were in a little bit of danger. We're 2-0 down. We're suddenly thinking, we've got a few games here. We might be all right, but we might not. We get it back to 2-2. That puts Fulham in trouble, and it goes from the first half. They're singing "We Are Staying Up" to us.
Yeah, and you're
going down with whoever it was that went down. That's probably Norwich. Let's be honest.
And we're looking at the game. Obviously, as we record now, Aston Villa and West Brom are playing. Now, West Brom need anything but a draw or a loss to keep their chances alive, and obviously they're drawing at the moment to Villa. Is that right?
They need anything but a draw or a loss. They need to win.
Need to win to stay up. All right. Obviously, a draw and a loss will put them down, and they're currently drawing to Villa. But we're saying, surely not. I know they can't. Like, I don't think they will.
I mean, people will know if they're down on Tuesday as well, listening. But also, can you imagine the scenes if the fans were there? The West Brom, it'll be a packed out away end. It always will be. And West Brom versus Villa. Okay, it's not Birmingham versus Villa, but it's probably second in line to that. You imagine the fans at that.
Yeah.
What a spectacle that would be.
And I don't think for a second that West Brom will stay up. But there is that. Surely not about them in their current situation that you are thinking like, and if there is none of that, who cares?
You can't appreciate the good times unless you've had the bad times.
No, and that's Elliot Clifford 2021 Through On Goal podcast.
Yeah, well, you can't.
That was meaningful. We're gonna, on our last ever podcast, whenever that may be, we're gonna sign off with that. Go back to that.
But yeah, you can't be watching Lincoln away when you didn't watch, when you weren't cheering them on Fleetwood away, losing 4-1. It's football. It's what it's about.
But yeah, as I said, enough has been said, I think, about the Super League, that there's nothing really more we can add to it. Everyone else has said the same things. We're glad it's at least over now, and we'll see what the Champions League format has to bring.
The only thing I would really add to that is it's really, I think Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are really getting the appreciation they deserve now. They are proper football people. Yep. And I don't know about Jamie Carragher, but I know Gary Neville is also a businessman. Okay, he's not on the level of the Glazers, he's not on the level of Perez, Daniel Levy, anyone like that, but
he runs a football club.
He runs a football club. He runs a hotel. He contributes to university. He's
made donations to NHS. I've known
he's a businessman. He's a football fan, and
those two,
go
hand in hand.
Yeah, and he's been. Yeah, I think he's got a lot of deserved admiration over the last week.
Congratulations to Watford going promotion. Well, congratulations. Hold on, I did this last week. I'll get it out of the way this week for you, Elliot. Yeah. Congratulations to Watford on promotion to the Premier League 2021, and commiserations to Watford from being relegated after your third manager in charge, 21 to 22. Because it will happen. Watford will go up. The manager that kept them up will get sacked. They'll bring in a manager from Tenerife, who's managing the Tenerife League, and then they'll go down. He'll then manage for the first half of next season. They'll sack him. They'll bring in a manager from Greece. Let's say Greece. They'll get them up. And it's rinse and repeat, and it works. I guess they come back up.
I think I know this is going to sound ridiculous because I know in about 8 weeks' time he'll get sacked. But I think that they found it can't be. It's not long. It's not long term. It never is long term with Watford. But I think that this one is it Cisco.
Yeah.
I think he's going to stay around for a little bit longer.
He does seem to have a bit more passion about him and a bit more like. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. And he seems to have the connection with the players and the club.
It's a results-based business as well, and you look at just the results they've got recently, and there was a shock one against Luton, the local rivals, but apart from that, a draw against Middlesbrough, and they've won pretty much everything for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
I think that, I know Watford's owners will kind of see themselves as bigger than what they are, so if they're not in the top half come November, his time may be up. But I think that they found their manager for a good while yet.
Yeah. We hope so. Because Nigel Pearson was...
I will go out there, I'll put my neck on the line, and I'll say he'll be in charge on the first game, on the last game of next season. I think he'll make a complete season.
Wow. Because obviously we thought that with Nigel Pearson. He had the club, he had the fans, and he got manager of the month, didn't he? I think one season when they were going down. Or 1 month.
And then
one season.
Him.
And then they still sacked him.
The thing is with Nigel Pearson, though, is I can see him being very argumentative and being extremely difficult to get on with. He's a very good football manager, but he's not afraid to ruffle a few feathers and upset a few people. And if you upset the wrong people, you're not going to be in a job forever.
We are at the penultimate weekend of the Championship. There's a few games here and there midweek.
It is the penultimate weekend.
Yeah, it's obviously next
weekend.
I think
Rotherham will have the most amount of games to play.
Yeah.
Play Tuesday, Saturday.
Yeah, but obviously for most teams we're coming to the penultimate weekend, and I doubt very, very much that anyone, even Wycombe fans, would have said that it would have taken the penultimate weekend of the Football League for them to be confirmed as relegated. Now, yes, mathematically they can stay up, but barring a 15-goal swing, I think it is, which with the form Derby's on, Elliot, I know you
never know. Yeah, but the thing is, if Derby lose that 15-goal swing, then Sheffield Wednesday gain it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they are down, and I think, manager accepted it, the team have accepted it. But what you see from the Twitter, obviously you go on the hashtag, there's no hate, there's no how dare you be relegated. It is just admiration for the team. It's the best Wycombe team, obviously, in history, because the highest they've ever been. The manager, they've literally, and this is that mentality. Obviously, they've been relegated. What does he come out and say? Well, we're not going to. We don't want to finish last. He's come out and said. He's not come out and gone. Well, we'll try again next year. They're still winning. They still want to win, and they've said that obviously we've got a team that we know can compete, and we'll try and compete again next year. And to be fair, I don't doubt that Wycombe will be playoffs next year. I'll put my neck out on that. I think they'll push.
I hope they do, because I hope that they really use this as a springboard to make the Championship, make it regular,
become more of a home.
Make it common. Yeah, I think that they'll, if you offered them now for the next few years, there'll be a yo-yo club like a Rotherham, like a Wigan, like a Charlton. They'd snap your hand off. Yeah, because it's Gareth Ainsworth's overachieved the entire time he's been at Wycombe, and he's, like you say, they're as good as down, and there is absolutely no way that he's not going to be manager on that first game of the season next season, unless it's on his terms.
Yeah, and obviously again end of next season, I don't doubt doubt that for a second that Gareth Ainsworth will be manager then. And what's good to see is, you said they've been relegated, but the chairman, he tweets, he loves Wickham. He's Wickham, they've got a very supportive chairman. The manager, as I said, he's got the morale. The team have the morale. Did you hear, like, when Akinfenwa scored? His first ever goal in the Championship, it sounded like a full stadium in there because the staff and everyone were just straight over to him, and it was such a good feeling. And that penalty kick, obviously now we know it didn't mean anything, but at the time that was a penalty kick that you could have gone, hello, Wickham could. No, surely not. And I do think Wickham next season will be a team to beat. Derby next season will be interesting because 1 win in 13 Wayne Rooney has. Let's talk about, obviously we talk about Derby a lot, but let's talk about Lee Bow at Birmingham for a second here, because he's completely turned the club around, and he's got them safe, essentially. His form, is it 5? He's got 5 wins in 8 or something like that. Yeah, in the last 6 games, they're unbeaten in the last 6, winning 4, drawing 2. And those wins are against Swansea, Stoke, Rotherham, who, relegation, they're fighting for it, and obviously Derby. And they drew against Nottingham Forest, and they drew against a promotion chasing Brentford. So I don't know what he's done to them, but he's come in, he's turned it around, and I think he's shooing for manager of the month, April, because he's had a crack. He's unbeaten in April.
Oh, I'd argue Jonathan Woodgate at Bournemouth. He lost against Brentford, but the month of April beat Borough, beat Blackburn, beat Coventry, beat Huddersfield, beat Norwich, beat Millwall. Yeah, no,
and they're comfortable wins as well.
At the beginning of April, it was very touch and go if they'd make the playoffs, and now they're sitting very comfortably in 4th. And it looks, the playoffs is now confirmed. The 4 teams are now confirmed. It's just which order that they're in, because there is 1 point between the 4 teams.
Yeah, I saw Sky did an advert for the run-in, and it's like, well, hold on. The Premier League winners are pretty much confirmed. Yeah. I'm sure the bottom 3 of the Premier League are near enough done. The Championship top 2 have gone up. The playoffs have been confirmed. The 3 in the relegation, barring Derby, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, do you know what I mean? That looks pretty sorted. There isn't really much of a run.
Because next weekend, if Derby win, then relegation's confirmed for Sheffield Wednesday, and depending on how Rotherham do with their games in hand, arguably them as well. So relegation could be sorted. So there is no run-in.
But hey, we got to make adverts out of it. Will Grigg is on fire.
Haven't heard that since the Euros.
Have not. He scored 4 against a shocking Swindon side, and which ultimately confirmed their relegation. Yeah. It was a long way coming. Obviously, Bristol Rovers have also been confirmed as relegated from League League One. Barton. Well, he could. I say good riddance. Obviously, Joey Barton, fair enough. Max, obviously, they've got 2 ex-Gillingham players. Max Aim was one of them. Fair enough. But it was Hanlon.
He strung them a lot.
He strung Gillingham along a lot throughout the summer. Will I sign? Will I not sign? I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm better. He's just been relegated to League 2. Yeah. Bittersweet, but hey ho. But yeah, and MK Dons very, very convincingly beating Swindon to make them go down.
I reckon Will Grigg scored more goals in that game than he scored at Sunderland.
He scored 8 goals in Sunderland.
Okay.
But no, I see your point. Yeah. Elliot, do MK Dons have an outside chance of getting into these playoffs? They can get a total of, obviously, 2 games left. We're in the penultimate, as we said. They can get 6 points. That puts them on to 70. The team in the currently occupying that playoff space have 68 points. Now, I know they have to lose every single game. Every team above them have to lose every single game. And this is why I'm not talking about Gillingham this week.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just quickly talk about it. Every week, I've gone, can they? And every week, everyone's gone, no. But I'm still, you know me, Elliot, I'm a positive person. I have to keep the belief. Because if you don't keep the belief, what's the point? I'm not Super League. I don't care. Got to keep that belief. And every week, Gillingham would kind of win or get points, or teams around them would lose. And you'd think, no, come on now. Don't. Stop it. And I was sat at work, checking on the scores. Sorry, but I was. And Gillingham don't like 2-0 leads. Let's get that out of the way. They don't seem to like it against Northampton, who needed that point more than
Gillingham.
Yeah. And obviously that all but confirmed. Don't get me wrong, next week if every team above Gillingham do lose, I will be come back here going, surely not. But I'm confined to it now, that Gillingham will not be in the playoffs. And I felt gutted. I actually felt genuinely gutted because it's not often I get excited about Gillingham. We're mid-table lower league. We are. You know, we battle relegation more than we try and fight it. And Lana said me and Lana are into our 7th year together, and she said that the only time that she's ever really seen me get excited about Gillingham was our first year of uni, when Justin Edinburgh, rest in peace, was in charge, and we were top at Christmas.
Fantastic season,
yeah. And that was the last time she saw me happy. And that's telling, isn't it? I've confined to it. With the teams coming down in the Championship and coming up in the from League 2, do I say it now? I'm going to say it now. I think Gillingham are probably one of the stronger teams in that league.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hull, Peterborough, potentially Sunderland or Portsmouth go.
I think it would be better for Gillingham if Sunderland go up.
Yeah.
Because Sunderland, they're a damn good team.
Portsmouth hate us as well. So.
Yeah. And also, Gillingham are very much a bogey team for Portsmouth.
Yeah, so bar that, I genuinely think that a playoff push is more than capable next year. Keep Dean Oliver, maybe get a couple more centre-backs, keep obviously growing for another season as well. I do think that we can build on that. But yes, MK Dons, what are you thinking?
No.
No? Okay then.
No.
Right, next.
I'd like to see Charlton get one of those last places because Nige, he's a cracking bloke and he deserves the success wherever he goes.
Blackpool do have 2 games in hand over the rest of the playoff teams. They've lost their last 2, so they're all done.
Although I can see Charlton pipping Oxford, because Charlton have 2 games in hand over Oxford.
Right.
It's only 2 points difference at the moment, so...
Yeah.
And they lost their first game under Nige at the weekend, but it was against Peterborough.
Because one of Blackpool's games is against Sunderland, which is on Tuesday. What on earth has happened to them? I have no idea, because in their last 6 games, they've lost 3 and drawn 3, and that's not promotion form.
Yeah, because
you go into if you are going into the playoffs and Sunderland are in 3rd, you're wanting 6th.
Yeah.
Because you're facing quite an off-form Sunderland team. Lincoln and Oxford obviously occupy that 3rd and 4th at the moment. But yeah, Charlton, they're building momentum under Atkins. They've been phenomenal, as you said. Lincoln are still a very hard team to beat. And even Portsmouth, on their day, with Old Cowling in charge, granted they've just come off they've won their first game in 4, I think. So, but there's still that chance. But the league, I think the League 1 playoffs, when you look across the whole of the top 4 leagues, I think the League 1 playoffs are excited. They're close.
It's one of the most open things still to go, isn't it?
Elliot, we'll finish off with League 2. Southend seem to really want to stay, which is fair enough to them. I know they've had, their owners. Their owner came out with a statement over the weekend, pretty much blaming. He was name dropping a lot, blaming the managers. The managers, the reason why we're in the where we are now. And it's like, just sell. Why don't owners just sell? I don't get it. If they clearly don't want to be there.
The thing that it's because they can be football fans, they can be whatever, but 99% of football owners are in it to make money. Yeah. And if what they're getting offered to sell is less than what they've put in, they're not going to sell. No. They'll be stubborn enough to think we'll come back from this, and at one point it will be worth more than what we bought it for. But
Cheltenham are 1 win away from promotion. Obviously they've got a game in hand. Yeah, Cambridge and Bolton occupy the other 2 automatic promotion spaces, with Bolton with a very crucial 1-0 win over 4th place Morecambe, who were, chasing them. Yeah. So I think, looking at that top 3, I think that's done. Yeah, I think that's pretty much sorted.
I'm happy to see Cheltenham going up because, they've taken a few youngsters off of us on loan in recent years. I'd mentioned Jacob Greaves, they had Max Sheaf last year as well, and they had a player called Elliot Bonds, which I think was doing really well for them, and then got himself a season-ending injury in November. But yeah, we've got a very good relationship with Cheltenham, so I'm very happy to see them going up.
Yeah, and there's their goalkeeper, Joshua Griffith, because there was Cheltenham, was it Man City they played earlier this season in the FA Cup, was it?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was, yeah. And they did a little bit of a feature on him, and he's West Brom youth player, and he's obviously on loan, and he's had an absolutely brilliant season for him. He's England, he's been called up to England and the 21 squad as well. So it's good to see, obviously, someone like that win, not just getting promoted, but winning the league.
Yeah.
No matter what
It's gonna
league
be great
you're
experience.
in. Yeah, wherever you are. Also, he was the goalkeeper that was it Port Vale's goalkeeper. It scored past him. Not the accolade that you want, but hey. And obviously the playoffs: Morecambe, Tranmere, Forest Green, Newport, with Salford literally 1 point off of that. It is looking very tight up there. And Southend, if Barrow win, I think Southend are down.
Yeah,
but,
I think I would confirm it.
Yeah, but no, I'm taking it.
Come on, Phil.
Also, as we speak, West Brom are winning 2-1.
Yeah,
Don't know where that's come from.
Okay.
But
Oh, wow. So,
can they?
no, give it a rest. They'll lose 3-2.
All right then, Elliot. Do you want to groan at a pun?
Yeah.
Okay then. I'm going to do a pun to end the podcast. You will laugh. You will cry. You will probably cry because only my mum likes these. Another shout out for my mum.
Yeah, she's got 2 this week.
Yeah, that's right. As well, 2 listeners we get every week. So, no, I'm joking. We get all that. So, you ready?
No.
Okay then. When Tony Hadley's in the shower, he likes to sing his biggest hits in a Jamaican accent. True dat. So we thank you very much for listening to this week's podcast. We are through. Elliot, don't leave. We are through on goal. You can find us on Simplecast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Again, every other week I will tell you where they are because Elliot doesn't. We are on YouTube as well. Search Through on Goal. We will be starting a Football Manager season very soon. Where we'll be live streaming us taking charge of Alfreton Town up the Alfreton, and I'm looking forward to that because it looks like a very good game to play. So keep an eye on the socials for when we start doing that. And yeah, are we To Your Goal podcast on Twitter? Have I said that?
Yeah, I think you have. But also, so our most viewed video on YouTube was the one where we got relegated. So can we please have the same energy for us getting promotion?
Yeah, okay.
I just wanted to leave you with that.
We'll clickbait it. So thank you very much for listening. I've been Sam.
You'll never guess what happened in League One this weekend. Number 1 may surprise you.
Oh, right, I've been Sam.
I've been Elliot.
We will see you next week. Tell your friends. Bye-bye.
Up the Tigers.